What's up, ATOZ Sports Live on a Tuesday? We had a topic planned for today, but we'll do it tomorrow because the Titans are making moves. Trade deadline signals are flashing as the deadline is 1 week from today, and the Titans are already getting ahead of this with yet another trade, the second of the season, and the same position, cornerback. Will they have any left by the trade deadline? What will happen? Because Roger McCreary is now an LA Ram, and he jumps into a winning team who is looking to make the playoffs and do some stuff in the playoffs. We're going to have a good show discussing what these signals are and why they are loud and clear after the Titans trade Roger McCreary for a day 3 draft pick swap. And so I've seen some people, I saw one particular comment on the YouTube waiting room chat before we went live saying, oh, it's loud, but it's not very clear on what the Titans are trying to do. So I think it is loud and clear. So we'll discuss this. What this means. Was this a good move or a bad move by the Titans? Get into some of that nuance, and then we'll talk about who is next because there's a lot of candidates for who's next. I have opinions on them, and Easton does too. I know that. I'm going to favorite this comment from Z Wildcat because they are against this trade. And so we'll come back to that one and kind of dive into all of this. And then we'll play a little game that we used to play in like our English class back in like, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade or something like that. Where you're like, how many mistakes can you find? That's what we're going to play that game at some point in the season. And I have a question for Easton that I brought up yesterday that he has no idea what it's going to be because he didn't watch yesterday's show. He was doing other things. Finding out how many years are left on Titans assistant coach contracts that I'm sure you'll talk about tonight on primetime. So Easton, welcome in. We will also throw shade at the end of the show. I'm sure people have plenty of shade to throw. So let's get it going officially. What's up?
Yeah, good morning, Austin. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's having a great start to their week. Great Tuesday. Got a good show for you guys today. Need you to like the show before we get rolling here on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button right below our faces on your screen. It is free for you. All it takes is one click of your finger, and it is extremely helpful for us. Helps with the algorithms and whatnot. And if you want to be a friend, tell a friend. Share the link to the show with somebody. Tell them to get in here on a Tuesday morning. We got a great conversation ready to roll. Jump in the comments. Be a part of the conversation. We've got some questions that we will turn to the audience for this morning. So join Anthony and Kaz and Garrett and why did YouTube start doing this username thing again?
I don't know.
Nick and Richard.
Summer one time, and it just fixed itself like 6 days later.
So it'll probably do the same this time. But for the meantime, we get to see all of your actual nicknames. So hello to Cody S9930 and Curtis 007.
The Cam Ward burner has not been back for a while. He doesn't want to out himself. The Brian Callahan burner is here, and we know his real name. It's not Brian Callahan.
It's not shocker. Shocker, it's not Brian Callahan. All right, so jump in the comments, hit the like button, and Austin, we can get started.
All right, let's get it going officially. Welcome to the ATOZ Sports here live on a Tuesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titan reporter for ATOZsports.com, and we are powered by BTA Sports. More about them throughout the show, and we go live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment. Links all throughout the show on Twitter X timeline. You can follow us there at ATOZ Sports. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Easton, we have a new thing for the chat to do that I have not told you about yet because it's that new. We don't.
Do I know about it?
We don't know. We don't need any more 5-star Google reviews. What we need. Follow us on Google with the link that I just pasted in the chat because Google's always changing and Google now has a follow button. So you can follow us on Google. And I just pasted that link in there and it's a direct link to follow us on Google. So do that, please. That goes a long way for us. Like our sponsors helping us out too. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. The region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. We also have our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short, buy a golf cart with 2 locations in the mid-state, Columbia and Gallatin. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows for free. Make no payments for 2 years. Get your estimate at windownation.com. So yes, there is a new Google thing going on. So you follow us on Google. That would be great.
I'm going right now to follow myself on Google. I didn't know this was a thing. So
Yeah. So
I'm
you can, again, I pasted it in the chat. So please follow us on Google. That's a big deal for us. That would help out tremendously.
What does that do? Is that going to, when you Google sports things, is that going to make A to Z like an authority for you?
A preferred destination for your results.
I kind of like that, actually.
And that's not just articles. It could be YouTube videos. It could be tweets. It could be anything. So just, if you could, follow us on Google. That's huge for us. And I'm not, trying to,
That is
you
not
guys
true, Daniel Caribbean. It does not give Google all of your data.
No.
You are not signing your soul over to Google by hitting this button.
You've already done that. It's too late.
I was about to say, we're way too far down that road, buddy. You're online right now in a YouTube chat.
Yeah,
it's over for you.
You're toast. You're toast. So no, but that's a big deal for us. So we appreciate you guys following us on Google, and we'll continue to work that in there. So, okay, let's dive into the news, because Roger McCreary was traded yesterday, Monday in the noon hour, which seems to be when the Titans like to do things. Monday in the noon hour, same time they fired Brian Callahan a few weeks ago. But here's the news from the Roger McCreary trade. The Titans get, it's not like, I think everybody at this point probably understands the draft compensation. It was kind of confusing for a little bit, but the Titans get a 5th round pick, the higher of the Rams' 2 5th round picks, which is going to be the Titans' original 5th round pick that they sent to the LA Rams last season when they traded for Ernest Jones, a linebacker. And then the Rams will receive Roger McCreary and a 6th round pick, the lowest of Titans' 3 6th round picks, because the Titans are just hoarding 6th round picks. So now they're going to have one less 6th round pick and one more 5th round pick that's going to be really high. And so I think the good thing in all this, and Easton, we can talk about, I guess, what is the best way that you have found to explain where the Titans have jumped in this draft?
Yeah, everybody's asking what the conditional nature of the trade is. All it is a promise between Mike Borgonzi and Les Snead, right? Les Snead.
Yep.
To make the best possible 5th, 6th round swap for the Titans once the draft order is set, because both teams have multiple picks in the rounds in which they are sending away. So you're right that it's going to be the Titans, congrats, you're going to get the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd pick overall in the 5th round of the draft, because you're going to get your own pick back. And then for the Rams, the Titans own currently the off the top of my head, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Broncos.
Bills, Broncos, one of the Rams, and the Ravens.
Right. Okay.
So they have 4 6th round. Well, they're about to give one away.
Right. So they're about to end up with 3, but they have their own and then a bunch of other teams' 6th round picks. So the Titans will send away whichever of those teams finishes the furthest in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it'll be
the Bills, the Broncos, the Ravens.
Right.
Which are all probably, well, the Ravens are not, but the Bills, the Broncos. The good thing is you have multiple
Ravens
playoff.
Might be. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Their schedule, if there's ever a team to come back from the depths.
Yeah.
They just put up 30 without Lamar Jackson. It's kind of scary.
Fair. Good point.
But yeah, so when you do the math on it, and it's all projection at this point because we're only halfway through the season, it's looking like it'll be somewhere between a 50 to 65 pick jump for the Titans, which is not insignificant. Anywhere you are in the draft, if you're moving up 50 to 60 spots, that's a pretty big deal. And you can look at this most recent year's draft to say, that's the difference between a Gunnar Helm and a Marcus Harris, or that's probably not the greatest math, but it's that kind of thing where people, I think, tend to hear day 3 and the translation in their minds is worthless. And I kind of get that, right? Like day 3, unless you're real drafted, who cares about day 3 picks? But we just spent the first 48 hours after the Colts game talking about how 3 day 3 draft picks for this team are one of the only positive guiding lights for this team right now. The trio of pass catchers that they have playing a lot of meaningful snaps as rookies, and they are day 3 picks, but those guys are not meaningless to this team. They're not worthless. Yeah. There are guys, especially in the top half of day 3, which the Titans are now moving up into at this pick, that can be really meaningful players for you. And it's really, frankly, it's the area of the draft that the good teams find useful players in. And that's what Mike Borgonzi has pretty explicitly said. Like, we want to obviously hit on our top 100 picks, but this is where we need to rebuild our roster. We got to hit on these.
Yeah, so the Titans, if the Bills or the Ravens or the Broncos win a playoff game, right? You're talking about the Titans giving up pick 200 to 205, right? For pick like 140 or like 138.
Right.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Roger McCreary, we'll talk about this when we get into our opinions on the trade, but Roger McCreary with an expiring rookie contract as well. But Easton, this trade does leave one man standing, and that is Chigakonkwo, who is the last standing draft pick by John Robinson between the 2020 and 2022 draft. Here is this list of
23 picks,
23 guys from most recent down to the 22 on top to 2020 on the bottom. You got Chigakonkwo in the 4th round, the second of 2 4th-round picks.
Hey, jump in the chat.
Draft.
What was your favorite pick from this stretch?
Honestly, if we want, we can get real. Like
wait, no. Here, let me specify with the question. Which of these picks in the moment were you most excited about?
Easily for me, Christian Fulton.
Okay, big Christian Fulton fan. Watching him at Auburn
because I thought he could have been the 29th overall pick in 2020.
Or wait, he didn't go to. Did he go to Auburn? No,
LSU.
Where'd he go? LSU. Right, I knew he was an SEC guy. That's right. McCreary was at Auburn. Yeah. Fulton, because he was 61st overall pick. He was one. I mean, he felt like a top 5 cornerback in that draft class for sure. To get him at the back end of the second round is pretty nice. I'm trying to think which of these like really jazzed me up because, in 2022 the Burks thing was dampened immedially by what it took to get him. McCreary
I thought the McCreary pick was dumb. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, I'm like, really? 30? This who?
Well, when I look back at the year before that, the first round pick, I kind of understand why they did it. And then NPF, I was like, maybe they found a tackle, but I wasn't super jazzed about that. I don't know which of these, like, I don't remember getting really jacked up about any of these guys.
I mean, Christian Fulton was a great pick at 61 at the time.
I loved the Kyle Phillips pick when they took him.
Because the guy scored like 12 touchdowns. Yeah,
right.
and then he just could
stay healthy,
kept falling apart.
Yeah.
But like, I think Daniel Cribbing's right. Kyle Phillips and Chig had hype coming out of that class. I liked Elijah Molden.
Sure, yeah.
I can tell you the 2 that I hated the most at the time, removing Traylon Burks from this because that's the obvious one. Dylan Radins pissed me off so much, and Malik Willis.
Really? I liked the Willis swing.
No, I thought that was a waste of time. I am against 3rd round quarterbacks. It is a waste of time. So anyway, that's our back in the,
One of the picks in there that genuinely pissed me off was the Brady Breeze pick. Not that it had big stakes, but I remember being like, talk about a waste of a pick. We're taking Brady Breeze in the 7th, the guy that I'm not sure can actually throw. And it turns out he can't actually throw. So sorry, not Brady Breeze. Brady Breeze, another guy that didn't do anything. Yeah.
Or Luke, which was that Cole McDonald?
Cole McDonald, yeah.
Luke Falk. Who is the Cole McDonald?
Cole McDonald. Yeah. Brady Breeze was another guy that didn't. Although I think Brady Breeze is at least somewhere still in the league. Maybe Cole McDonald is super duper not.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was more angry about those picks than I was excited about those picks. Really, the defensive backs minus Farley, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
Wasn't a whole lot to get jacked up about.
No,
those 3 drafts.
No. So, all right, let's go ahead and ask this question, Easton, because I think a lot of people are here to discuss it, and I've seen already just in the Facebook and YouTube chats that it's split. Was trading Roger McCreary to the Rams for a day 3 draft pick swap a good move or bad move by the Titans? A good move or bad move by the Titans? Easton, you can first tell us all about the Bone and Joint Institute.
Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic care. We know where they're at. They're right off of the interstate down here south of Nashville, right off of I-65. So if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, super easy to get to them for all of your orthopedic and rehab needs. They have everything under one roof for you. They can do everything from clinician work, testing, imaging, surgery, rehab, dozen specialists. They can help you through any type of injury. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. State-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help you with your recovery. Schedule an appointment today for any issue that you might have with your body. boneandjointtn.org.
BTA Sports, you can download the app. You should absolutely do that because you can get a 14-day free trial for their weekly subscription, which means you get 2 full weeks of football betting for free, where you get better odds on your bets. You understand the predictive nature of them with the models and the predictions that BTA Sports has in the app. But download the app, use our code ATOZ14. The link for the app is in the YouTube description and the Facebook title right there for BTA Sports. That's ATOZ14 for a 14-day free trial. Better for bettors right there. Easton to the chat, I will send you. And it is good move or bad move? The Titans trading Roger McCreary to the Rams for a day 3 draft pick swap. Good move or bad move? And because we have an A or B, I will put up a YouTube poll here momentarily.
All right. Starting off with, and I apologize if I can't get all of your names because I'm seeing a lot of numbers and abbreviations and whatnot. So from Sharman, good move. From Big 2033, good move as well. The Jer agrees. It's a good move. Alex says it's a good move, but it was bad value in return. Eric Castillo thinks it's a good move. Jake thinks it's a good move. Does anyone think it's a bad move? Well, Rooney does, as does Nick Wing. Indifferent from Amaral. I don't know how to say this. Good move from Slater. Very good move from Daniel Caribbean. I guess he wanted McCreary out of here. Steven Crosio says bad move, could have gotten more. So not a fan of the value in return. Scott hopes that it's a good move. Dylan says it's a good move for McCreary. Yeah, I mean, when we went to sleep 1-7, woke up 5-2. It's pretty good business right there.
Not bad.
Tall Texan, yes, he was expiring. Not hard to figure that part out. In a vacuum, it's a good move. Horrible Titans move. It makes sense. So we are kind of all over the board here, Austin. I'd say more good moves than bad moves, but there certainly are some folks that aren't a fan of the move. In particular, it sounds like not a fan of the return the Titans got.
Yeah, I see MB pretty loud. I'm sick of 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. Titans are just stupid.
Oh.
That's interesting.
So do you think this is a good move or a bad move?
Bad move. I saw Z Wildcat. This is the one I saw earlier. This trade was so stupid. Can anyone name the new corners? Who gives a bleep about the new corners? It doesn't matter.
Can you name the new corners?
No, I don't care. I already told you guys on Friday. Screw the defense. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because they're all going to be different next year. Minus Jeff, who's currently hurt, and a couple others who are also currently hurt. So, it doesn't matter who the new corners are because they're literally irrelevant. They could not be more irrelevant. There are people out there wearing your jersey that is just there to take up space. Well, because guess what?
There's
your Titans defense sucked with Roger McCreary out there too. Roger McCreary sacking Daniel Jones once did nothing to help Jalen Armour Davis not get smoked by Michael Pittman Jr. 5 times on Sunday.
It's true.
And so it does not matter who the new corners are. It's irrelevant.
I mean, it will be worse than it was, but to the actual defense, like the defending of the field positioning that the Titans are doing on Sundays, it just means that they'll go from allowing teams to score to maybe allowing them to score a little bit more quickly. A big super chat from DJ Silent 01.
Get the ball back sooner.
This is true. Hey, there's just some spin right there. DJ Silent 01 with a big super chat. We appreciate you, man. He says, I have no problem with trading RMC, but am I wrong for feeling that the front office got dog walked with these cornerback trades to only get pick swaps and no additional picks? How is this accumulating picks? A fair and important question. So, Austin, I wrote yesterday 4 elements of this trade that I felt were important. And I talked about the predictable news, the good news, the bad news, and the scary news. And we've covered some of it. The predictable news was the fact that we saw this coming, right? We talked about McCreary being one of, if not the most likely guy to be traded. I wrote Sunday morning, 24 hours before the trade, about basically an explainer on, it sounds like McCreary's getting traded because everyone's talking about him nationally and locally. But why would the Titans want to do it in the first place? And then they traded him. And that was not surprising. It might have been surprising the return. The good news was that the actual jump as we've talked about, is not insignificant. That's a meaningful leap in the third round. The bad news is what DJ Silent 01 is saying here. No additional pick, right? All they're getting is pick swap for these guys. They did the same with Brownlee when they traded him to the Jets a couple weeks ago. This is something that maybe I'm just now picking up on it, Austin. But based on the conversations I've had with folks that are in the league and like people in the front office and folks that deal with this on an everyday basis, it kind of sounds like this is maybe a newer trend. The league as a whole has gotten really finicky when it comes to adding or subtracting the number of swings in their drafts that they have. Mm-hmm. And it's led to some weirdness, but for the most part, everyone is a lot more reticent today than I think they were 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago to actually move full picks for players or whatever it is you're trying to acquire and change the number of picks that they have. And I know that the Titans, we have talked explicitly about how I talk to people in the front office. They fought hard to find an actual pick, even if it was just a 7th or a 6th for Brownlee. And the market was what the market was, and they couldn't get one. I'm certain they did the exact same thing here. This is something that I've seen some people point out. Like, it is important to note. You can be mad at the compensation, but it's you do need to realize that the Titans didn't have. It's not like they passed on better offers to make this trade with the Rams. This was the best they got. So the market is what the market is, because they didn't just, it's not like they didn't pull a Dallas Mavericks with the Luka trade where they talked to one team and one team only. No. They spent weeks talking to everybody in the league about Roger McCreary, and this was the best offer anybody made. So at the end of the day, the market is what the market is. Now you can be mad that they chose to take the offer, right? That's fair. Well, okay, if that's the best offer you get, don't take it. Okay, we can have that conversation. But this was the best that anyone was going to do for McCreary. And I do think it might be interesting to kind of talk about why there's that divide, Austin.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pass up on the weirdness yet. We saw this in the draft this past year. I think the perfect example of this is what the Titans and the Ravens did on day 3. Speaking of trading day 3 picks, do you remember when the Titans traded up in the 4th round? It was like 5 spots to get Alec Iamaner, and they traded with the Ravens to do it. You may not, because people.
Not that.
So they traded up like 5 spots to make sure they can get Alec at the end of the 4th round. They traded with the Ravens, and I forget the exact details, but it was like a fourth round swap and a 6th round swap. And so when we see these kinds of trades, usually it's the team moving up in the early round is going to move up like 5 spots. Mm-hmm. And in exchange, the team in the late round is going to move up like 20 spots or 30 spots, right? To make the value even out. But the Ravens got no value for that trade. They moved back 5 spots or whatever it was in the 4th round, and then up the exact same number of spots in the 6th round. And when you put that in any trade calculator, it's like, don't do this. This is charity work.
I mean, was it like the rookie salary slot was cheaper?
I have talked explicitly to people in the Titans front office about this since then. Like, why did they do this? And they don't know either. They called to see if there was a trade available, and the Ravens were like, how about this? And they were like, sure, yeah. And the only going theory is, again, that the Ravens went into the draft with a plan that we're going to bring in 8 new people. And that's how many we want. And we're not going to add or subtract from that. Maybe it's a salary thing. Maybe, I don't know. But it's stuff like that leads to me wondering, clearly there's something about that. Maybe it's the way that these teams are planning in the future, and their plans are so predicated on having a certain number of salaries on the books. I don't know.
Well, let's think about this, because like if the Titans are trying to acquire draft picks, right? Like they have 11 draft picks for this upcoming draft right now.
Do they?
Yeah. It's because
First,
they have
3rd, 4th, 5th, 3 6.
They have
and a 7th?
4 6s and 2 7s.
Well, I'm going ahead in my head and giving away a 6th and getting.
No, I know. I'm looking right now.
Wait, do they already have a 5th before they're getting this Raven or this Ravens one?
So now they will have their own 1st through 5th round.
That's 5.
I'm currently counting 4 post Rams trade 6th round picks.
Are you sure it's not 3? Don't they have to give one of those away to the Rams?
I'm looking at round 6: Bills, Broncos, Rams, Ravens, Titans. Those are the 6th round picks they have. Why do they have the Rams pick in the 6th? Where'd that come from? Ernest Jones. They have one of the Rams 6th-round pick because of the Ernest Jones trade.
That was a swap?
Yeah, and because currently that is the one that is slotted to go back to the Rams.
Oh.
I'm on prosportstransactions.com, and I've got 5 current 6th-round picks for the Titans. The Titans' own pick would not transfer. The Ravens' pick would not transfer. The Rams' pick currently would transfer back to the Rams, and then you still have the Bills and the Broncos.
Okay.
And,
I'm not trying to shoot the messenger on this because I know you're just reading a website. That sounds wrong to me. I want to verify that. Not shooting the messenger. I don't know.
They have a lot of draft picks.
They have at least 9 or 10 or 11 picks.
Right. So I say they have 11. If I'm wrong by one because this website's hard to read,
it's at least 9. I know that.
Yeah. And so at some point, like, how many do you need? How many is too many, right? I know it's ammo to package time to move up kind of deal. Like, if you draft 11 players, you're cutting a lot of them.
For this team in general, I'm with you.
Yes.
I mean, like, I did this exercise yesterday with somebody, like going through guys that are who's under contract for next year, who's likely to be brought back, who's likely to be cut, and it's like,
sure, but like if you're
Titans
drafting
might
10,
have
11
like
guys,
30 new active roster guys next year.
But you're also getting a lot of, like, not just day 3, but like end of day 3 of these guys, or like half of that class, right? So those guys get cut naturally. So you're still cutting guys, right? It's not like you have like 3/4
position to have more of these guys stick, but I hear what you're saying. I also think it's fair to, like, say, well, right now, go ahead and stockpile those draft picks and package them to, it's ammo, right?
Yeah, it's how can you slide up in the 3rd round to get a guy because you have a million 6th-round picks that you don't need. So you give 2, whatever it is, right? To help you maneuver. So I did see somebody saying that, in response to your reasoning for trading Roger and how that's the trend is the pick swap trend. So why trade Roger then?
Right.
Well, because he's not going to be back here next year. Not just because he's a expiring rookie contract for a pretty good nickel corner who's going to get $10+ million average per year on the free agent market, that you don't want to pay that, because I also don't think and I think that the clear and loud message is that Roger McCreary is not the type of cornerback that this front office wants. Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi want longer, faster corners. Roger McCreary is the opposite of that. He is a phone booth short corner, like no length. We know this. He's got these short arms, and he's great in tight spaces. That's not what this team wants. Now, that doesn't mean that Jalen Armour-Davis is good, because he's not. But he at least is the body type that they want, and they're going to try to take as many swings on those type of body types until they find corners that can play.
There are 2 different things that I've seen people upset about with this, and I think one of them is fair and one of them is not. If you are upset because this trade makes no sense, it does make sense, right? They weren't going to sign him, and if you aren't going to sign him, you should trade him. You are getting something for him now instead of getting nothing for him in 2 months after he's played 9 more meaningless games. If you are upset because you understand why they traded him, but you don't understand why they didn't just sign him back, right? Because this team wants to be draft and develop. He's a homegrown guy. He's a clear starter in the NFL. He's at worst, he is an average or better starting cornerback in the league. So why get rid of that guy? Fair. I think there's a conversation to be had there, and I saw a lot of people outside of town in particular reacting this way, like, why do the Titans keep giving away their good cornerbacks? What's going on here?
Can I answer the question?
You may.
Because you stink with them. So start the clock over.
Okay.
And so Richie's in all caps, draft, develop, retain. Retain who? Again, Brinker, Borgonzi were not around for the drafting of Roger McCreary. Nobody.
This is where I want to go.
And was around for that.
So I'm writing about this today, Austin. It's funny. I originally intended this to be a Brownlee angle from Sunday when we saw Titans legend Jarvis Brownlee Jr. once again making plays on our television screen in a Jets uniform. And that trade is never, ever going to look good because Jarvis is, as I have always championed him as being, and even when I was explaining why they traded him, I wrote about how I think this is not going to look good for them because I believe in Jarvis as a good player.
Yeah.
From what we see on the outside, the production on the field, it's not going to look good. If you followed the actual reporting on this, you know that the reason they moved him did not have to do with his on-field. It had some to do with it, but really that wasn't the impetus for it, right? It was the culture fit of it that why they moved.
Can I pause you? Because this is going to be the question that I told you I was going to ask you that I didn't want to tell you. This has something to do with it.
Okay.
So before I let you give the answer, can I just phrase a question for you?
By all means. I'm curious if this is actually the what I'm getting at, but either way, I'll answer both.
If Brian Callahan was already fired, would Jarvis Brownlee Jr. have been traded? Think on this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
If Brian Callahan was already fired, would Jarvis Brownlee Jr. be traded? Now, I will tell you guys about Window Nation. WindowNation.com is where to go for your free assessment, your free demonstration inside of your home. You can get that checked out for new windows to upgrade the value of your home, to increase the production and the performance of your home, save money on your bills, both AC and the heating bill, like we're going to do, because our windows will be installed next month, and could not be more excited about that, because a great presentation from the folks at Window Nation, who really are great people that run the Nashville location of Window Nation. And they have an amazing deal going on right now. So take advantage of it. Jump on it this week. Get on the calendar. Get Window Nation on your calendar, because it's free for you to just have them come out and do their whole shebang right there. But buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, and you don't have to pay anything for up to 2 years. There's many, many different ways to finance these things, and it's really pretty advantageous for you to save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on your new windows to up that value of your home. WindowNation.com.
We're also brought to you by BTA Sports, Better for Betters. We continue chugging along, making the NFL season more interesting by placing some bets on the Titans each week. And frankly, at this point, if you're not betting on the Titans, then there's not a whole lot of reasons to be watching the Titans. So we're using BTA Sports to get informed on our picks. They have machine learning AI algorithms that are really a great tiebreaker, I think, when you as a bettor are trying to decide between what to take. Use their numbers to inform your betting. Use our link in the description to get a 14-day free trial.
All right, so Easton, I was about to ask, because you were about to go into this.
I was.
Yes, and so to tee you up
kind
on
of.
it, yeah, kind of. But
no, this works though. This works as a transition.
I was going to ask you this question, because I asked this to Zach, and I kind of had this epiphany in the middle of the show yesterday, that I think if Brian Callahan was about to be fired in season, then Jarvis Brownlee Jr. would not have been traded when he was. And I think if Brian Callahan got fired and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. was still here, then Jarvis Brownlee Jr. was more likely to remain here, because not an expiring contract, right? So you still had 2 years of roster control. Even if he's not the type of corner that you love, he still has contract control for cheap for a while, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, now I feel bad for being the bad guy. I hate raining on a parade. I understand where your head is at on that, but you are wrong.
Okay.
And this is not really an opinion of mine, because this is where I was headed with this. I was talking about how I was going to make
this. Because your opinion is you think you are a Jarvis Brownlee Jr. believer.
Yes, as a player, I watched him in person for the first time at the Senior Bowl in 2024 in January, and I was enamored. And like that just, he became my guy from then on. And then I watched his Louisville tape more intently that spring, and I was like, I'm in on this guy. Love the tenacity, the way that he plays. Awesome in press man coverage. If he can hone his skills and not be so rough around the edges, so physical, I think you can be a really good, especially nickel corner in the NFL. And by the way, it is important to point out, that's where the Jets are getting to play him now. It's where the Titans wanted to play him. If Roger McCreary didn't exist, he would have been playing there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right?
That's a part of the rub.
So, real quick, Ken says, are you saying Brownlee was traded at Callahan's request, Austin? No, I'm not saying that at all. That was not Brian Callahan's decision.
But here's where I was going with this, and it's why I am not uncertain that he would have been traded either way. This is kind of a bigger picture point for the Titans. Part of the fallout from constantly churning regimes, the way that Amy Adams Strunk has done, is that, and this is not just a Titans thing. You see this whenever it happens around the NFL. I think you're seeing it a little bit in Jacksonville right now, and I'll explain. You're going to have good players, and I don't mean good like that people think they're good, but they're actually bad. I mean guys that we all understand to be good or useful or valuable players who, under new management, under new eyes of player personnel people, in new schemes from new coaches, in different, slightly different roles, are not going to fit exactly. And there are going to be who are kind of victimized by these changes. And Brownlee and now Roger are both examples of guys that the simple reality is when you have new front office folks or new coaches come in, people have different opinions in the NFL on how players should be used and what kinds of prototypes of players are best for what they do. And there are some guys that are going to fall by the wayside because of it that you don't quite understand. My Jacksonville reference is that, like, I think we're kind of seeing this right now with Brian Thomas Jr., who a part of it's just he's not playing super well. But whenever a regime change happens, sometimes it's hard to pin down how much of it's on the player and how much is on the regime change. But it happens so often that it can't be a coincidence that when these things change and then suddenly players that were good aren't playing the way that they were playing. It's like, well, what's the common denominator here?
Yeah, they get caught up in the mess.
Right. And they're just going to be, and I'm not saying that the Jags don't like Brian Thomas Jr. Sometimes it's because folks just don't like a type of player, and it's not even personal. It's like I don't love because this guy's faster or slower. I don't love because this guy's more or less brittle. I don't love because this guy's longer or shorter. It's just it's physics stuff. Sometimes it's that they don't like a guy. Sometimes it's that they like the guy, but they just don't quite fit into the way that they run a football team. And I think Brownlee was a perfect example, and now Roger is a perfect example of guys that just don't fit the eye of the current regime. And it's why they were moved off of. And when you continue to churn people in charge, this is just going to continue to happen. And people always want their guys, and it's going to victimize some good players. So you got to stop. Stop doing this.
Yeah. Stay patient as long as you can, please. So, I said, like, to somebody, like, why trade away McCreary and Brownlee? And I said, well, the defense, you stink with them. You're going to stink without them. And so Nick said, Austin, is it the players that stink or the lack of development due to poor coaching? I never said Jarvis Brownlee or Roger McCreary stink.
They don't.
I said the defense stinks with them. Mm-hmm. And so they are good players. And Brownlee's different because he's got 2 more years of his rookie contract. But Roger McCreary is a good player. We all understand that, like Easton is saying. The defense stinks with him. They'll stink without him. What's the difference, right? So the difference is the Titans are not in a position with their team building stage to have it be a smart decision to pay a nickel corner 8 figures a year in March. Mm-hmm. That would be dumb. That would be a dumb investment for the Titans at this stage to pay Roger McCreary $10+ million a year in a new contract. So what do? You move the good player to go reset the clock to get hopefully more younger good players of 4 years of cheap roster control as you're trying to reset your clock. So you can maybe in 4 years from now, Cam Ward's developed. You've got Chimdike making Pro Bowls. You've got an offensive line that can sustain. You've had some of these draft develop. Now you can retain the luxury 8-figure per year nickel corner because your defense needs that guy in January. That's the timing of all this.
And I hate to do this to the nickel corners of the world because they're people too, but the nickel corner element of this is 1,000% a part of why this decision was made, fair or not. Corners that don't have inside out versatility like Roger McCreary don't get the same treatment. They don't get the same contracts. It's just the way that it is. These teams see that type of player as a whole lot easier to replace. And I've seen this too, Austin, because the Titans went and signed, and this is bad on my part, but I've already forgotten the name of the guy that they signed from the Packers practice squad yesterday. They filled that open spot that McCreary left with somebody whose name I will learn later today again. But that guy, his measurements are roughly the same. Well, actually not quite roughly the same, but he is also well below average when it comes to length. And so a lot of people were like, oh, this front office, real principle to them to move off of a guy because he's not very long and replace him with a guy that's not very long. And you heard the same thing with Marcus Harris, by the way, a guy that they drafted in the 6th round, also not very long. It's like, what does this team, we keep hearing from the reporters that this team values long corners. Why do they keep getting short corners? You're missing the point. The point is, where and how are you getting these guys, right? In the 4th and 5th and 6th round of the draft, where you find the Jarvis Brownlees and the Marcus Harrises of the world, good long corners don't exist. Those guys go earlier than that. That's why those guys are there. So you are settling. It's the same. It's
There's
the same
some
conversation I have with
resume, right?
Right. It's the same conversation I have with people about Gunnar Helm. They're like, well, Gunnar Helm, like, look at the way that he's a receiver. Why can't he be a good blocker too? And it's like, well, if Gunnar Helm was an awesome blocker as a rookie and was a sure-handed receiver, then that's not a guy you get in the 4th round. The fact that you got him in the 4th round is the answer. That's why there are flaws. You are settling in some way.
If Jarvis Brownlee Jr. was 6'1", he wouldn't have been a 5th round pick.
Right. You get these guys where you get them because you're having to settle because they have some fundamental flaw to their game. They get hurt too often, or they're not long enough, or they're not fast enough, or they're not athletic enough. There's something wrong with them.
All right, a couple more comments. COVID Bat says, trade Jeff, we stink with him. And then you have Malachi said, you said 4 years from now. That means trade Simmons because 4 years from now his picks would be a part of that move, would be a part of that more than he would. Look, like, okay, is Jeffrey Simmons going to be here 4 years from now? I don't know. Probably not. The odds are no. But you don't trade him away now because he has 2 years of contract control and he is one of the core pieces that you have to have. Like Roger McCreary was not going to be here next year, so trade him away. Mm-hmm. Jeff is going to be here next year, so you're not going contractually, so you're not going to trade him away, and you got to have some core.
The logic of a fire sale only works so far. You can't take it to its logical extreme because then you have nothing to build a defense around. You do have to field a defense next year.
Now, if Jeffrey Simmons had an expiring contract, guess who would be saying trade Jeffrey Simmons? Me.
Right. Totally.
Just like I did with Harold Landry last year, and they didn't do it. Mm-hmm. They did not trade Harold Landry last year, who didn't have an expiring contract, but he had the out year coming where he would have been a really easy rental for a team in December or whatever. And the Titans ended up releasing him and cutting him in March for nothing.
Right.
So that's why Kevin Byard was traded. We had the whole Derrick Henry conversation. Do you trade him? But you didn't because you needed morale. You needed something to hang your hat on. With Derrick Henry to have him have that go out moment with the crowd and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, I think we've talked a lot about this. Let's get to some super chats because we have 2 super chats before we move on to our who's next in this trade situation here. And we're already running, 42 minutes plus into the show. Lim says, if the Titans had a bunch of players worth day 1 and day 2 picks, they wouldn't be this bad. It's a good value. It's a good comment, right? If you had a bunch of players on expiring contracts, worth better picks, you'd probably be better, but you don't. D'Lo, if they wanted picks, they should have took the Giants offer. Having multiple picks in the 6th round isn't going to be value, guys. So
they wanted picks. They should. Isn't going to be
the
valuable.
Giants trade.
That's just not true. First of all, having multiple picks in the 6 isn't going to be valuable. It is.
The answer, D'Lo, is that they loved Cam Ward. They didn't take the Giants trade offer for the number 1 overall pick because they loved Cam Ward.
Yeah, I think this is revisionist history.
Whether that's
I will never, ever criticize a team for passing on an offer in the 1st round if the opportunity cost is taking a quarterback that they believe in. The upside of quarterback in the NFL in 2025 is so great that if you, in your heart, believe in a quarterback, you're not pressing, you're not grabbing him because you think you need him, you're taking him because you think he can be the future of your franchise, 100 out of 100 times you draft the quarterback. I will never, ever criticize a team for choosing a quarterback that they actually believe in.
And this is not my opinion. This is what the team fell in love with Cam Ward very quickly.
It's the same reason I don't criticize the Titans for the Will Levis pick. I think like the Saints taking Tyler Shuck when they did. A lot of people think that was dumb. I didn't like Tyler Shuck as a prospect at all. But you know what I won't do is say that they were morons for doing that because if he was their guy, They really believed in him. They should have taken him where they took him.
See, I criticized the Titans for the Levis pick because if you really loved him, if you really thought he was the guy, then you don't pass him at 11. Seriously.
That's a part that's fair. If that's a way of kind of whittling down whether or not you believe them when
you
they
didn't like him enough at 11, so why trade up at 33?
Sure.
If you like the quarterback enough at 33 and you pass him at 11, then you don't like him that much.
And that's a different conversation, I guess. To me, you're also playing the board. Like you can love a quarterback.
Quarterback, you don't play the board. You pick your guy. If you love your guy, you get him. Right? Yes. If you love your guy, you get him. You don't risk losing him. That's what
if you love Tyler Shuck but you're picking it. Where was the Saints' first round pick? Like 7th?
They didn't have one, I don't think.
Oh, that's right. That was their
problem.
First pick. So that actually even is further evidence of them really loving the guy. But I hear what you're saying. But my point stands that I'll never criticize a team for taking a guy that they believe in.
To D'Lo's thing, yes.
Now maybe the Titans didn't actually believe in Will. Maybe not.
But they loved Cam Ward. They weren't going to pass on Cam Ward. Whether that's your opinion, my opinion, Easton's opinion, the Titans loved Cam Ward. They picked
one more thing on that, Austin. A lot of people, because the Jackson Dart, and it's simmered down a little bit because they keep losing now. But the Jackson Dart thing, where people are like, "Oh, look at the Giants." The Giants got Jackson Dart at whatever 19th or whatever it was, and
26th.
The Titans took Cam at 1. Like I bet the Titans feel dumb about not taking Jackson Dart. 32 out of 32 teams are taking Cam Ward before Jackson Dart in that draft, including the Giants. I know this because the Giants called the Titans the night of the draft as a last minute. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to trade for this pick? So don't give me this. Oh, the Giants, giant brain Giants, taking Jackson Dart. They knew he'd be the guy. They wanted Cam Ward too. What are we talking about?
Good call.
It's very silly.
Good call. All right. There was a comment that I saw and now I lost it. Dang it. Anyway, maybe it'll pop back up here. So I think, all right, let's go ahead and get to this next conversation because, the trade deadline is a week from today. So who is the next Titans player to be traded away? Who is the next Titans player to be traded away? I haven't here. By the way, good move, bad move, 50-50 poll.
Wait, what?
The Roger McCreary poll that I put up on YouTube.
Oh,
good move, bad move, bang, 50-50 down the center.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah. So, all right. Who is next to be traded away? We'll get to your thoughts here. But first, the Barton Drury Insurance Group has customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are online and local at bartondrury.com. Whatever you guys are looking for, whether it's you and your family, a lot of time, for a lot of people, it's open enrollment season. And so you got to make that decision for next year on what you want to pick up, what you want to drop, what you need to increase. Where can you save some money but not sacrifice coverage? The Barton Drury Insurance team can help you out with that. It's easy. They're a click away at bartondrury.com or a phone call away at 615-806-1265. That's 615-806-1265. Barton Drury Insurance, whether it's your personal health coverage, your home, auto, bundle it together. If you're a renter, make sure you get the renter's insurance. That's a big deal as well. Umbrella policies to help cover all this hidden things. Surety bonds that we always poke fun at over the summer. Or maybe you're a business owner. They can help you out like they do with ATOZ Sports with Zach and I with our workers' comp policy and our health coverage for our company employees. They got it right there online, bartondrury.com.
We're also brought to you by BTA Sports, Better for Betters. Use our link in the description below to get a 14-day free trial of analytics, machine learning, math-based betting advice from BTA Sports, the app right in the palm of your hand. Use the link to get a 14-day free trial.
Okay, who is next?
Who's next?
Who is the next Titan to be traded after?
Could we perhaps be talking about all three of those draft classes having no Titans remaining on the team? It's on the board. It's on the board.
Maybe. Let's go ahead and head to the chat because I want to see what the chat says. Then we'll get your opinion and my opinion and kind of see where we are not aligning because that's what I'm most interested in, where we're not going to align.
Right.
Because I think it was easy going into last week or so that Roger McCreary was the most tradable asset the Titans had. So now that he's moved, who's next?
Hey, and by the way, the Saints they drafted Kelvin Banks with the 10th overall pick, so
Did they?
Same conversation for them.
Well,
Let's see.
I didn't whatever. Tyler Shuck, whatever.
But if they loved their guy,
Shuck it, whatever.
Bork says Chigakonkwo or Arden Key are next.
Which is why Spencer Rattler is a quarterback right now.
Well, he actually just got benched this Sunday, so tough scene for Spencer Rattler.
How much I watched the Saints.
Well, yeah, I only saw it because it was on one of the 17 screens at the Landshark Bar and Grill. Kenneth Davidson says Arden Key. Edward says send in Chig away for a 6th. Listen, if they got a full 6 without it being a pick swap, that would be a win in my book.
That would be their 5th 6th round pick.
And at that point, maybe that's too many 6th round picks. I don't know. That's a whole lot of 6. The Titans are just going to run the whole 6th round. Tony Pollard says big. I think he's hurting more than helping. Interesting. Pollard and Chig from Anthony. Chig, Arden, and Calvin are next in Joshua Bailey's mind. Jacoby thinks that Pollard would be worth at least a 4th or a 5th. Listen, I hope you're right. I think you're wrong, but
ain't no way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a swap for a 4th or a 5th, but not a full pick.
At this point, if you're swapping in the 5th round, you're moving back, or in the first 5 rounds, you're moving backwards.
What do you mean?
If the Titans are because the Titans have their own 1st through 5th round picks. Mm-hmm. So I guess you would have to, the Titans would give away their 4th for like a 3rd round pick swap.
Oh.
Because they're picking high.
Here's what the Titans should do, by the way. If they're actually going to sell one of these guys that's a day 3 value, what they should do at this point is say, we will give you Arden Key and 2 of our 6ths for your 4th. Yeah, that's what they should do at this point, frankly. I don't know if a team would bite, but
3 6ths.
You can have all of them. Give us your 3rd round pick. Yeah, I don't know that they would consider it, but that's what I would be thinking about. Dan Moore, they're trading that contract. I think Nick Suss floated a funny idea to me yesterday that they should just trade him to the Steelers, who are now struggling with tackles. Just retroactively give him back to the Steelers. They can take on that contract.
We'll pay the contract, Steelers.
That's right. Give us picks and you can have your guy back. He'll fit right in. Cody Barton, Tony Pollard. Barton is not getting traded. No, ain't nobody want Cody Barton, and he's under contract. But I understand why some fans don't want him on the field anymore. Tony Pollard. Trade Cody Barton for a Whataburger meal. That is tough. Rude. Very rude of you. Chig. So it's a lot of the obvious picks here, Austin. We're hearing Pollard. We're hearing Chig. We're hearing Arden Key. Got a little bit of Calvin in there. I see Kevin Zeitler's name being mentioned. Seeing Cody Barton's name being mentioned, but again, Cody Barton is not getting traded. What do you think? It sounds like you kind of have a strong opinion on this based on
I do
pre-show conversation.
I have a question for you first before we get deeper. What is the health of Arden Key at the time? Currently,
right now, he's not in great shape. He could play this weekend, but he's not anywhere near 100%, is my understanding. He's
missed 2 games?
2 games. There was a chance he could get in on the action last weekend, but then at the end of the week they ended up ruling him out. I would guess that this week maybe we see again, this is guessing. Maybe he returns to practice, and maybe this is the week he comes back, especially with them maybe wanting to get him back out there to showcase.
Hey, he's good. Who wants him?
Right.
That's my answer. If Arden Key plays on Sunday versus the Chargers, then Arden Key will be traded on Monday after they play the Chargers.
Good point by Isaac. No one said Draymond Jones, which is crazy to me, considering I know it's been quiet. He's had a sack in every game for 3 straight games. That's not nothing.
Sure.
It's a lot more. He's shown a whole lot more in the last month than Arden Key has. Why is it just that we know Arden Key's name and so we're mentioning Arden Key?
Yes.
Austin, here's my question for you. Do you think Arden Key right now is more valuable in a trade than Draymond Jones is? Because I do not.
I mean,
it's marginal either way.
I think they're day 3, right? Like if Roger McCreary is getting you 50 to 60 spots on day 3, then Arden Key and Draymond Jones are both probably 50 or 60 slots behind Roger McCreary.
Oh, interesting. I disagree with that just because every trade deadline we see that this position overpaid for, and it's always surprising.
Okay.
So
maybe
that's the only reason. Equal. That's the only reason.
But I think Arden Key is the next guy to go.
Let me ask you this: if you're an opposing GM shopping for an edge, right? we keep excluding him. I guess on paper he should be included because he's been. We talk about what they've shown.
Arden
He's been the
Key,
best of the three. I just
Ward,
don't get this. I've
or
never
Jones?
gotten the sense from my Ward. I've never gotten the sense from my conversations with people in the building that he's somebody that's available. But he's on a 1-year deal, just like Draymond Jones is, and Arden Key an expiring deal. So like,
But maybe they
can move him too.
just want to. But maybe they want to keep that guy. Maybe they like
That's
Jones
the sense that I've gotten.
and Ward and what they, because those were like later ads, right? In the
Jones
offseason?
earlier, Ward later. Ward was, I mean, like
Ward was super
July
late.
or August.
Yeah. So the thought is like, okay, maybe they think this guy can play a little bit, and they would rather negotiate with him before letting him hit the market.
Who would you come knocking for if you're the GM of the Chargers?
If I
Like who? If you need an edge, you're coming to the Titans' door. Who are you coming after?
Specifically the edge, I'd probably say Jones.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. Why we keep saying Arden, who's not even healthy.
I just think he's a bigger name, and he's more of like your pass rush specialist, right? He's your flashier.
I mean, he's a bigger name to us. I think in the league, I don't think people.
I think he's a bigger name than Draymond Jones.
Well, I think people.
Arden Key's been a. I think he's just.
I think for people paying attention, which these GMs are paid to do, they're not like, well, Arden Key's better because I've heard his name more often than Draymond Jones.
Oh, that's why I said that's why my answer was Jones.
Yeah,
but I think Arden Key is the one who's floated out there as being open on the market because he is more of a, like, if you're looking for an edge guy, you're probably not looking for the Draymond Jones set the edge in the run game and play solid football. You're looking for who can I scheme up to go get sacks because I've already got a pretty good defensive front.
Yeah, I hear you. He's just not even healthy right now. He's broken.
No, I get it. That's why I'm saying that, like, if he plays on Sunday versus the Chargers, he is traded on Monday after they lose to the Chargers.
Yeah, like I don't know if you know this meme where it's like it's a record player on the side of the street and it's got a sign on it that says "Does not work, could be fun to fix." That's the sales pitch on Arden Key right now. Does not work, could be fun,
but like
fun to fix.
But you said he maybe could have been out there last week, but maybe if the trade deadline wasn't a week and a half away from last week's game, then maybe he plays. But if
but if you're an opposing GM, you have no idea his medicals. You just like
if you're the Titans, you don't want to have him not get healthy, then you're stuck with him, right?
I just think it is a hard sell right now, a whole lot harder than if he was healthy.
Right. That's why I think that's why I think it's where we're different on after Roger is the conversation.
So wait, was that your answer, by the way? The most likely next guy is Arden?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because I am not trading away any tradable or wanted offensive pieces.
Any. What? So why do you think if a team comes knocking for Chig for literally anything? Because he's in the exact same boat as Ridley or as
you can't say literally,
McCreary, right?
Because obviously, if somebody comes and wants a third-round pick for
no, I say literally anything in terms of like I'm talking breadcrumbs. I'm not talking good. I'm talking like they come offering you something instead of nothing. What is your reasoning for not taking that? Because it's the exact same boat as McCreary. They're not going to re-sign
Cam Ward.
Right, but Cam has a rookie behind him who we all want to see play more. Right?
Yeah, but you need two. You need more. You need multiple.
As a receiving threat?
Yes. Look at the numbers.
What do you mean? Look at the numbers.
Look at Chig's numbers. Like he's getting targets. Like I want
those targets can go to Gunner.
They haven't yet.
Yeah, because Chig is around.
But I don't think Chig is stunting Gunnar Helm's growth.
Growth, no. Production, yes. I think.
I mean, I don't care. Like I care more about Cam Ward's production and growth more than Gunnar Helm's.
I don't.
And I'm
think
the guy
Gunnar
who bet Gunnar Helm's over on Sunday.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think Gunnar Helm being the guy and Chig not being around really hurts Cam in a significant
I think
way.
it does because I think Cam throws to Chig a lot. And Nick, smartass Nick comes back. Smart-ass Nick comes in here and says, but Austin, the offense stinks for those players. I don't care about the defense, Nick. I've made that so clear.
He's doing the logical extreme thing that we talked about. Trade everybody. You can't take it to a logical extreme. It doesn't work.
Cam Ward is the only thing that's important moving forward. And Chig Okonkwo helps Cam Ward over the next 9 games in 10 weeks. And
Titans stink with Cam Ward, so trade him, Austin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I don't think trading away Tony Pollard makes any sense.
I don't either, because that does impact Cam Ward more to me, because unlike the tight end situation, because on the surface, it kind of seems the same. It's like, well, move Chig so Gunner can play more. Move Pollard so Spears can play more. The difference is that I trust Gunner not to break. Maybe I shouldn't, but like his history is
Like
that
physically, like injured.
Yes. And Tajay, who I love, and Tajay is the ultimate, like, you got to respect the ceiling or you're going to get burned guy on this roster. Because everybody and their brother, again, a lot of national guys who I know and I follow, like, they're all talking on Sunday after Tajay has the day that he had, like, man, Titans just got, like, Pollard's nice and all, but you've got to get Tajay more run. Why can't he be the one?
Need both.
You're telling me you've not been paying attention if you think that. He is it's diminishing returns the more you give him the ball. Because the more you give him the ball, the more likely he is to break down. That's just the reality. I see the juice. I love the juice as much as anybody. Like, I wish that in my heart I felt comfortable giving that guy the ball 20 times on a Sunday. But I just don't, because I don't think that he'll survive it.
I think
so if you move Pollard and then Spears, God forbid, gets hurt again.
Guess what? If you move Tony Pollard, you're getting a lot of Julius Chestnut.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for Cam, because right now they have Tajay Spears to be the third down back to help in pass protection and other ways for Tony, to give Tony a break, because Tony needs a break too. I think you need both those running backs. So don't trade away Tony Pollard. So don't trade away Chig. I think you need both those tight ends.
I say do trade away Chig.
I know you do. I just disagree with it.
Just for the record.
I strongly disagree with it. I do not think, like, Cam Ward needs as many playmakers on the outside as he possibly can get to have good experience. And I don't think Chig is stunting Gunnar Helm. I think he's only going to help Cam Ward. And I think if you want to argue to trade away one offensive player, again, I'm reaching here, but he has been brought up in the chat already. I think it's not as big of a deal if you move Kevin Zeitler. I just don't think anybody wants Kevin Zeitler.
I've done some
digging because you have Jackson Slater,
actually.
Huh?
I did some digging on this the past day or two, actually, because I kind of exploring the same idea. What I've heard, because I'm with you too, the theory of, like, well, it's a youth movement. The entire draft class from this year is getting in there except for Jackson Slater, so, like, get him in there. And it's not Zeitler, his numbers have actually been quite good, but people that watch the tape who know offensive line better than me, I've talked to them and they're like, it's been fine, but not, like, it's not something that you would cry over losing. So maybe that's the point that you're making, that who would want that, right? And what you're going to get for the guy.
Yeah. And like,
I have heard that Jackson Slater still has a lot of upside in the future, but he's really raw, and that if they put him out there now, he'd be exposed. That's what
and you don't want that to happen. If you believe in somebody long term, then don't ruin them.
Well, and if you talk about protecting Cam Ward, I mean that's a direct impact,
right? But again, I don't think that's a realistic option. And Calvin Ridley, people are saying he's a fast receiver with a hamstring.
Calvin,
right?
That contract at 30,
who's
biting?
So Esco says, so Ridley untouchable. He is a fast receiver with a hamstring injury.
Yeah. He's not untouchable.
No. That's untouchable. A fast receiver with a hamstring injury, over 30, with that much money in his contract, all of those untouchable.
We're saying different things. I anticipated this comment as asking whether or not the Titans could, do the Titans consider him untouchable? And I think the answer is no.
I think he's untouchable for all the other 31 teams.
Right. So that we're saying different things. The Titans don't. I don't think the Titans would say no matter what, but I think other teams would say no matter what.
And plus, again, when Ridley's hamstring gets healthy, I still think he is a net positive for Cam Ward moving forward for the rest of the season.
He's not hurting Cam Ward.
No.
And if and when they get him back, which we'll find out maybe some more on that front this week.
What game was it that he went out pretty early? Was it the Raiders game or was it the Texans game?
The Raiders game, I think. Yeah, Because there's been 2 games since the Raiders, and he's missed 2 full games.
And that offense had nothing.
Yeah, now this is interesting. We don't have to make a big deal out of this, but there was a question asked by, I think, Kaharski yesterday at the presser for Mike McCoy, No, he asked Chim. We talked to Chim DK yesterday, and he asks if there's any, if it's purely a coincidence that since Brian Callahan has been fired, Chim has been kind of unlocked in the offense. And Chim gave the appropriate canned answer. When I heard that question, my response in my head was, there's not a coincidence between them firing Brian and Chim emerging, but there is some correlation between Calvin and Tyler Lockett disappearing from the offense and Chim emerging. Like, Chim's getting to actually play his position now. And that, I think a more prominent example of what I think would happen with Gunnar Helm is happening to Chim DK. He's getting to be the big slot, and he's getting a almost 18% target share all of a sudden. So he's producing, and it's been good. I'm very curious if and when Calvin comes back, what that looks like, and if we're super pleased with it. Now, if Calvin's producing and being like an alpha and really helping Cam Ward, no one's going to care.
Well, here's that is that they both can. I mean, can they both produce at the same level? Maybe not, but they're both on the field together because Van Jefferson goes off the field when Calvin comes back on. Chim's still on the field because Lockett's out, and so now you've got Calvin speed, Chim speed, and then Alex physicality.
I hope that's the way that it is.
That's what it needs to be, and that's why.
But if my devil's advocate, if Calvin comes back and is dropping balls and not getting open in kind of a head case or whatever it is, like if he's disappointing and he's taking a pretty significant target share away because he's not going to just stop targeting Calvin Ridley if he's on the field. Are we going to be kind of annoyed by Calvin's return when we started to see these young guys get more involved? I think it's possible.
I still think Chim and Calvin can coexist. Like, don't you want that? Like
I do want them both.
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins have zero problems producing together in Cincy. Like, you can have two. That's the whole ridiculous thing is that last year when there were 6 games played with both Calvin and DeAndre Hopkins, there was not a single one of those 6 games where both guys had more than one catch. So Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins with Will Levis could not coexist.
Right. And maybe that's the reason my subconscious is worried.
Figure it out.
Right. I would like for them to figure it out. I don't know if I trust them to figure it out. But
okay, let's throw some shade. Some shade. But first, tell everybody about Botero Carts.
Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy a golf cart. You and your car and your golf cart can coexist. There is a way for you to be happy and maybe get around your depending on where you live. I know a lot of neighborhoods, like it's a great way to get around. Go, visit your friend's house or your kid's friend's house or go to the neighborhood pool. Loading up in the car, it's a whole lot of hassle. Just load up in your golf cart from Botero Carts. They are a locally owned shop that can provide you with the cart that you need in your life. They have carts starting at just under $6,800, 0% financing for 36 months. They're open 7 days a week, and they're a full-service sales and rental dealership. Again, locally owned and operated, so support a local business. 2 locations in Columbia or in Gallatin. No dealer fee, no credit card fees, even a no credit needed option if that's something that you're interested in. Check them out, Botero Carts.
And shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon, online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com to save some money on that new ride. It is time to throw some shade. We have lots of shade. I know Easton has lots of shade. Will he share it? I don't know. But if you have shade, bring it in the chat. What we didn't do, Easton? I forgot. So I will kind of make this a part of the shade here. Okay. Roger McCreary is a good guy. I love him.
I'll make this my shade. I won't. Shade. What?
I was going to steal it because you had more.
Okay. As long as it's somebody's shade, yes.
Yeah.
Go for
it. So this will be my shade. Is that I'm not going at or attacking Roger McCreary. I also understand the purpose of I left this team / organization. I want to send a message to the fan base and to the organization publicly. So you put out a statement. And that's exactly what Roger McCreary did. He put out a statement. What a journey it has been to each and every one of you. Thank you for your passion, loyalty, and time. I owe a debt of gratitude to the Titans organization, coaches, and my teammates, and especially the fans for pushing me to be my best, both on and off the field. To the Struck family, thank you for the opportunity to play for the Tennessee Titans. And running out of the Nissan Stadium will forever be a core memory for me on game days. as I turn the page on this chapter, I take with me the love and the spirit of Nashville. Thank you for everything. I love Roger McCreary. So look,
Class act.
Roger,
Class
again,
act.
Roger McCreary is a good dude, a hard ass worker, salt of the earth, grinder, head down, doing his job at a high level.
He's going to be very successful in LA. We're going to be talking about
He's
him
going to be making plays. And I hope the Rams, I wish Roger the best, but dude, let's get somebody to help you out with this.
We need a PR team on this. We do.
Each and every one of you, the Strunk family, out of the Nissan Stadium, the extra spaces before and after that period there, and then
I think this was just he just entered because Nashville could have definitely fit at the end of that line.
And then there's no comma. Thank you for everything.
There's no punctuation there.
It could be an exclamation. It could be a comma. It could be a period.
Yeah, but I don't mean to go full English teacher on
no, but like this, like we were in our big Titans text group that we have with ATOZ. It's like this is like I don't know if I got addicted to these on Facebook for a little bit several months ago, which is like, here are 2 pictures, find 3 differences. I had so much time sucked out of my life from that. But then it's like an English class. So, okay, find the 5 grammatical errors. Mm-hmm. And that's what you have to do in 5th grade. And so I look again,
hey, you know what? It's actually perfect. Right? Like it's what in a way it's poetic in the sense that it's what this deserved. It's what the Struck family deserved. And I don't think he was intentionally putting out all of these mistakes because he's a class act and he wouldn't do that. But I'm going to choose to think that this is exactly what this situation deserved. It's what the Struck family deserved. And I think it's the perfect message, to be honest with you. Somehow it works. Somehow it fits. You know?
Anthony says Roger should take you guys out the football field and critique you.
We're being a little bit of jerks here. Like I fully understand that, but it's in good fun. We're just poking fun.
It is funny. Come on, it's funny. It's funny. We all know it's funny.
It's funny.
Just saying the Struck family is funny.
It's nothing against Roger. Frankly, we're just dunking on the Struck family, to be honest with you. But so, anyways, my shade. Although I don't want to neglect the chat. I'm sure we have some shades in the chat that we can.
I don't know, they're all just. It's all about.
It's all about the Struck family. Okay,
yeah, it's all about the.
If you have any really pressing shade, send it now.
Auburn's catching some shade right now.
What did I miss? What happened?
Auburn.
Why? Yeah. What?
That's where Roger McCreary went to college.
Oh, I see. I thought it was something about what the actual team did. My shade is at my now 15-month-old daughter, who has 1-year-olds, thumbs down, who is the best, but we have learned how to pitch a fit. And so that's the solution to everything now. Little hungry, pitch a fit. Little tired, pitch a fit. Wants to leave, pitch a fit. Doesn't want to leave, pitch a fit. Wants that toy back, pitch a fit. Wants to eat what I'm currently eating or drink what I'm currently drinking, pitch a fit. It's a lot. We're crashing out over everything because that, it's like a new skill that she's learned. She understands that it is effective. I haven't quite figured out how to not positively reinforce besides just ignoring her, which I try to do. We try to do as much like, don't reward let's not reinforce the idea that this works as best we can. But sometimes there's no choice, right? That's parenting. Sometimes you just have to give in, and it's not unique to me, Austin. You will experience this because every parent experiences this. I hope for your sake that it somehow doesn't never come for you, and your son is an angel.
And we're 8 months next week, so
I'm betting against it working out perfectly for you, but it's not. It's annoying. I wish you would stop doing that.
Curtis says you get used to it. It continues as they get older. Awesome. Anthony says it doesn't get better.
It's a lot of
Dion,
support.
It doesn't get better.
Sweet. Great.
And then Jason, I love you guys, but truly shade on A to Z for glazing this organization and team in camp, which I think is hilarious because the highest win winning games or wins that we predicted was 6. Like glazing.
Maybe next offseason we will just be as pessimistic and critical as humanly possible for 8 straight months.
Well, and here's
And
the
see if people
problem.
like
And
that better.
this is the whole situation with what this entire offseason was that led to Brian Callahan getting fired in mid-October. When Amy Adams Strunk makes her front office members who are preaching patience over panics and makes them look foolish, makes a lot of people look foolish.
Yep. This is a good one from Eric Castillo. Shade on Adam Schefter. I'm glad to know the Titans don't intend on trading Cam Ward. Yeah, that was the craziest insider article I've ever seen written late on a Saturday night. It's like, my sources indicate that the Titans are not interested in trading Cam Ward 2 months into his NFL career. Thank you, sources. Good to know.
And I think this is Donald. If you were overly critical, people will say y'all are haters.
Correct.
But when you're taking the message out, I'm tired of this.
Shade on us for not knowing that the world would burn. Whoops.
Unmitigated disaster. Mike Vrabel's burner made A to Z look foolish for preaching Titans propaganda. That's called talking to the front office
Preaching
and doing your
Titans
job.
Propaganda.
Like when you say this is what the team feels, that is not preaching propaganda.
Shooting the messenger. Shooting the messenger.
Reporting. You can also say your opinion. That's the whole. The society is broken. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and great. Shade to Titans fans for literally acting like Easton's toddler, no matter what the organization does. That's the way to end the show.
Listen, we are here to serve. If we need to be your whipping post, then go for it, man.
Okay. That's it. Easton, you're going to have a good topic tonight for primetime because the Titans gave this coaching staff contract extensions after going 3-14. Easton will dive into all that tonight. Make sure you catch him on primetime and make sure you like the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. It goes a long way. Follow us on Google. We'll continue to preach that as well. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Easton, see you tonight. Appreciate it. Thanks.